Hello, this is Wolfman611 from wolfmansbytes.com, and today I'm taking a look at the PC version of Battlefield Bad Company 2. Now, as you can see here, I'm running around through the menus just to give you a general idea of what things are. One of the big problems with the game is, as you can see here, there's no sensitivity for the actual different areas in the game. So when you're running around on foot, for example, with your machine gun, you can't set your mouse sensitivity differently than if you were flying a plane or the helicopter. Actually, there is no planes. Something else that's wrong with the game. But they do have helicopters, and there is no sensitivity adjustment at all for the different modes of transport in the game. And that seriously sucks. Every Battlefield game up until this one here, they had that. That was built in. That was standard affair. You know, you could adjust the sensitivity to whatever you were doing. This here, you got one sensitivity across all things, and that's it. You know, you don't like it too bad. Right here, you can also see the achievements you get, and the game is focused heavily on that. There's just tons and tons and tons of different things you can get, weapons, scopes, all kinds of crazy stuff. You can get upgrades for your tanks. The more time you play the game, the more stuff you unlock, the more fun you might have. Here's the browser server where you can turn the Punk Buster on, not full and all that. When the game first came out, none of this stuff even worked. I sat here for at least 2 days trying to actually get into a game, and it was impossible. You might finally get into a server, then be kicked 5 minutes later. Some people had tons of problems with Punk Buster. It was one of the most screwed up launches of a game I've ever seen. I've seen a lot of games. I've never seen this one. I've never seen any go as bad as this one here did. It was incredible. EA had basically a major shitstorm on their forums over the problems people were having and stuff. And again, it's because the game was a direct console port. They didn't actually pay any attention to the PC. They just made it run on it, and that was it. No optimization, no thought to the gameplay, nothing. There's also no mod support for this game. That's another thing that, although I don't think they were big mod support people to start with, EA and DICE, but this game here, there is no map editor, nothing for it. And from as far as I can tell from articles I've seen online, they don't plan on building anything anytime soon. So that's sort of a bit of a bummer too, you know. The game's going to have a limited life if the users can't turn around and make any modifications or any maps for the game. So it's not going to last very long, despite how good it looks. You can see me here running around, all the machine gun models, all the maps, the design of the maps are all top-notch. One of the big problems in the game, though, is they made it so that, due to the limitation of RAM that the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360 have, they got the boundaries on these maps set really tight. You can't really wander off the beaten path very far before the thing starts screaming at you. And you'll see it here on one of the clips I have. Before it starts screaming at you to get back in bounds, or otherwise it'll just kill you outright. And that's either it's a RAM limitation or they were just lazy and never even bothered to change it. Because the PC users have way more RAM. That boundary should have been, 10 times the size. We shouldn't even see it on a PC. Along with the boundary problems, they don't give you very many vehicles, so when you start out in these maps, like you can see me here, I'm running. The only reason why I'm running is because I can't get in the vehicle. Everybody's screwed off. And when you only got 2 or 3 vehicles, that means you're walking to your destination. One good thing about the maps being small, you're not walking for very long before you actually get to where you got to go. But yeah, that was a huge turnoff. I mean, for PC games to see the maps as big as these ones are, which I mean, that I'm saying that they're not big, I'm not actually saying they're big. Huge turnoff. I remember reading articles about this game before it came out, and apparently DICE was going to, make the PC version special so that they would give, the PC gamers a little pat on the back. And well, I played the game and I don't know what they did special other than screw it totally up. That's about the most special thing I can see. Here you can see me here. I dropped down this hill. Before I get a chance to drop down the second one, right away I start screaming about the out-of-bounds stuff. I mean, that's just crazy. You go 10 feet off to the left or right, and that thing is screaming about you being out of bounds. It's retarded. Up here I try to get a little bit of a shot at these guys. And as you can see here, this is another thing about this game. If you walk around out in the open, I don't know if if it's being wildly hacked or what's going on, but it seems like you get killed extremely fast. It seems like you always have troubles trying to hit people, but they don't seem to have any trouble hitting you. I don't know if that's hacks or what the case may be, but it definitely exists. I had friends of mine that were playing the game same time I was, and they were running into the same stuff, just getting wiped out instantly all the time. Which you would have that if you had aim bots and stuff like that, and especially due to the fact that Punk Buster was a huge abortion when the game was released and wasn't working properly, and half the server admins decided to not run Punk Buster, guess what that means? The hackers have a fucking field day with the game. So, that to me, that turns me off of the game altogether. Here you can see when you're running down here, the water. It did a nice job. Even on the jet skis, you got boats you can get in and drive around. They got machine gun stations on them and stuff like that. All that was done excellently. But again, all this gets ruined. Like that little guy there just took off in the jet ski. If he drives another 10 feet straight ahead, he runs into the boundary problem, and it's like you're playing in this tiny, tiny sandbox. It's just a pain in the ass. Here you can see one of the helicopters. Of course, the helicopters, none of these vehicles control as good as the Desert Combat vehicles did for Battlefield 1942, however many years ago that was from Mecca. 2000, whatever it was, 2002, 2003. Maybe it was 2004. And that's what I was hoping this game would be. I'd hope that they would have taken, you know, what you've seen with Desert Combat and 1942, Battlefield 1942, and give us a modern day version of that. I mean, that's what the PC gamers want. They want to be able to run around on big maps. They want to be able to go to an enemy base with, you know, half a dozen tanks all rolling across the landscape together to go over and get an objective like you would in Battlefield 1942 with Desert Combat. And that's the part that drives me nuts. I mean, the technology's improved, everything's gotten better, and yet these games just seem to be getting crappier and crappier and crappier. There's no thought put into them. They're not tested very well. They're not optimized for the PC. In fact, all the game developers now are on the bandwagon where why make a PC version when you can just make a console version, do minimum adjustments to it, throw it on the PC and say, there's your PC game. You know? Have fun playing this piece of shit. Because that's what a lot of these games are turning out to be. And that's despite the fact this is a good-looking game with good audio. If they had made this a PC game, and never mind the consoles, this thing would have been 1,000 times better. Assuming they wanted to make a game that was going to be 1,000 times better. That's the thing, too. Some of these game developers are pretty lazy nowadays. You see me here, I go to take out this guy and run with ammunition. End up getting done in for it. Another sign this is a console port is the minimap you see there should be up at the upper right instead of the lower left. Right here, I get ready. I notice I hear something behind me. That's, like I said before, the audio is right on in the game. Really good audio. See, there's this guy here. I go to unload on him. Of course, I hit him several times there, but looks like most of the time I missed him. He pops me in about 2 or 3 shots. Here's one of the vehicles, the APCs. Again, the vehicles, I mean, to me that's a turnoff. There's no, when you look at the original Battlefield 1942 and the types of vehicles you had there, the huge ships, all the different stations on the ships, the massive maps, you know, tons of tanks, tons of jeeps, just tons of stuff in general. And then you come onto this little thing here. I mean, we're many years now into the future in terms of technology with PC and stuff, and this is the end result. Yeah, I was really, really, really disappointed with this game. I think it was a huge waste of money. Console gamers might love it, but you know, they're not probably expecting much in terms of first-person shooters since they really haven't had good ones for a long time. But from a PC perspective, this thing just sucks ass. Now I hop in a tank here, and you see the guy in front of me. He gets done in, shot by a guy with a RPG from behind. Overall, tanks are pretty good. This video is going to be coming to an end here soon, so don't forget to subscribe to the video and rate the video. Please and thank you. Also, the full text review for this game is on my website, www.wolfmansbytes.com. And the review is quite lengthy. I'm only covering a fraction of what's in that review here in this video. So go over to the site and check out the text review. As you can see, I'm trying to kill that guy. Just ran into that building over there. I think I got him. There we go. There, I'm going to kill there. And then I come up to the wall here, and it's funny how this tank, you know, big 60-some-odd ton tank, can't go through the little wall. So some of the environment is destructible, but not all of it. Anyway, there's a tank behind me here to go get. And the video's coming to an end. Thanks for watching. And I'll talk to you again soon. Take it easy.